NFTs introduction. Right. So what gives an NFT value? That's what I want to go around the table. So let's start off with Emoniacs. Ali, are we good to go?
Okay, the value of the NFT. Well, it's unique usually, and it's scarce. Basically, these are the two properties of an NFT. You can bind to an NFT anything you want, like any digital asset or even real asset.
But what do you think
So
gives it?
the
What
value,
do you think gives it the value of when you buy or sell the item? Because there are NFTs, for example, 5,000 days that was sold for $69 million. So what do you think gives its value?
well, I think it could be any. I mean, there could be many things. One of the most notable things is the who's the owner, first of all, who issued the NFT, and what's the history of the NFT.
Okay, good. So credibility and track record. Very nice. Thank you so
Yes, and
much.
of course, well, what stands behind the NFT? What is, for example, if it's a picture or a photo or a movie or anything that is representing the NFT.
Right. Yeah, the amount of work that was put into the NFT. Thank you so much, Ammoniacs. Then we have Dylan. Hello there, Dylan.
That's a good question because I don't know why people are paying $80 for farts. I don't know why people are paying for these NFTs for porno films made by celebrities that no one's heard of, but I can understand paying millions for one of Jack Dorsey's first tweets because that's iconic and that's historic. I'm guessing that for these preliminary NFTs, it's history. It's the first time someone's doing it, so they know it'll be worth a lot. But the other thing I wanted to say that's kind of not related is Elon Musk is going to be hosting Saturday Night Live on Saturday. So if you guys have a virtual private network and you go into NBC's website on Sunday, there's probably going to be a lot of funny skits about Bitcoin. And the other thing I wanted to mention that's not related is New York State apparently is going to try to ban mining Bitcoin, and everybody's laughing about that. That's it.
Yeah, Elon Musk is big on Dogecoin. He even has the hashtag to the moon. And I think he's going to create his own NFT. He's already created his cryptocurrency. And the funny thing is, he's doing it for shits and giggles. And yet, because of the power that he has, he probably could turn it into the most powerful currency in the world. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes he's the richest man in the world, depending on how much the Tesla stock is worth.
Yeah. Proudly South African as well. Well, part South African, part American. But the funny thing is, he's still the people's person. He can still relate to so many people. Like, I don't know if you've seen his conditions, but when he's at the office, he literally sleeps on this couch that is not comfortable. And yet he puts in 19 to 20 hours of work a day. It's amazing. All right, next we're going to head over to Sam Fraser. Sam Fraser, tell us, what do you think brings value to an NFT? If you're around there, I'm not sure. You haven't moved for a bit.
I'm not working.
Okay. Next we have is Paul Laff. Paul Laff, your thoughts?
Really, I've got not much. I haven't got much to say on this issue. But what gives anything a value in general is rarity or uniqueness. So that must apply to NFTs as well. That's all I have to say.
Very good. Absolutely. And also being there first. Because sometimes it's not about who is the most talented, but who who created this work of art in the beginning. You know, it's almost like Mark Rothko, who depicted irregular and rectangular regions of color into paintings. You know, those square paintings that you see in movies and everywhere. I don't know if you guys are into art. And yet he was one of the first American abstract expressionists to create this movement of a new region of color, and yet was able to sell it for millions and millions of dollars. So it's also about, you know, the originality, like you said, the uniqueness. And that's why the beauty about NFTs is you don't need to be very talented. If you can create a rock or a cat that looks like a pig, for example, and put it onto NFTs, it probably will make a lot of money. Perfect. Thank you so much, Paul. Rarity and uniqueness. Love it. Let's head over to Man, There's the Camera. What do you believe gives the NFT value?
They're made with cryptographic technology that uniquely identifies each pieces of art or whatever it's uploaded. So it's really new technology. I think it's really cool that they're allowing artists to make their profits off of it.
All right. So you mentioned the features of I guess the language that is to create an NFT, cryptographic technology. But the thing is, before you know it, there's going to be millions of NFTs, and it's going to be difficult. You know, just like anything in life, you got to get there first and make an effort. So I want to just ask you that question again, and that is, what do you think brings the value or the price of the NFTs that the NFT creator makes? Okay, sorry, you got muted. All right, let's go to Desert Sushi, and then we will open the table, as always, and then cover the next question. So, Desert Sushi, tell me, what do you believe gives an NFT value?
Well, it's been said before, but I think scarcity of the work adds to the value of the NFT, and the ability to trace ownership of it. Something I've been talking about with other people recently is it being an alternative form of assigning intellectual property rights. So it'd be easier to keep track of who created the work and like who now owns it. So that's all I have to say. I'm still learning more about the subject.
All right, perfect, thank you. And have you heard of NFTs before, Desert Sushi? Oh, sorry. You see, when you go muted, we then need to give you the megaphone again. And I don't have anybody. Oh, wait. I've got it here. So, Desert Sushi, have you heard of NFTs before, where you are, and where?
Mostly being around other graphic artists and other people who are in crypto. I'm seeing graphic artists on social media like offering NFTs, and I had no idea like what that was, so I just wanted to learn more.
Awesome. All right, great, thank you. And you're in the right place. I wonder if this is one of the first AltspaceVR events where we actually get to talk about NFTs. All right. Next, we're going to head over to Ultra Funky. Ultra Funky, how you doing?
Okay, yeah, I got it. Hi. I was listening to everybody and laugh. He took all the things that I wanted to say, and then I started to like brainstorm myself to see if I could think in another way. And I was thinking like this. Put a value on something. You can have a value when you want to get rid of the thing. You with me? If there's somebody collecting them, and maybe somehow that it doesn't have a value right now, but somebody collects it and gives it a value later, or there are things that you want to get rid of. I'm just thinking aloud here. that you could have a value in somehow saying recycling the non-fungible token. You with me? I'm
Yes.
not really there in my thought process, but there should be some value in that too. But I really haven't thought thought it through. You with me? But I'm just trying to see it from the other side. When you want to get rid of it, can you make a value from that instance? If we say like this, I'm just playing with the idea that you buy a token, that to that token is your address connected, because you bought maybe 1 week in Hawaii and at a hotel. So when that week is used, the NFT is not doesn't have any value to you, but it has, because it's connected to that token is an address or a person that took this thing, like this vacation. So somebody maybe wants to know which people have taken a vacation in Hawaii or wherever they did, and they collect that information, and there's still a value in it. You with me how I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little off topic, but I'm like trying to find another way to see it, but I haven't put my thoughts really correct in that way. But you understand where I'm heading?
Try say what you said right in the beginning, with removing it gives it value. Try say it again.
No, I was thinking like when you get rid of it, maybe you have a token that's not valuable for you, but you can give it to somebody else, and that token becomes valuable for somebody else.
Okay.
Not for you, but for somebody else.
If you think about it, then it's a normal auction, because you put an NFT out, and you believe it is set at this bid, right? So you choose a price at the lowest bid, and then you let the market take over to price the value of where you think of where they think the NFT should be. Because the guy who did the 5,000 days collage, no way in his mind set a $69 million mark. He put his bid at $100, and within a few weeks it just went up to $69 million, which was sold. So absolutely, the value is created by the people more than the creator.
Okay, but we can do like this then. We can change it. Say that you have a token and you give it away to a church, and the church is going to sell it for the value they can get out from it, and it has a different value. Yeah, but it's still like an auction.
Yeah.
But it becomes a value for somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think aloud here. I'm not like, but I'm with you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ultra Funky. Next, we're going to head over to Dr. Sam. Dr. Sam, your thoughts. What brings or gives an NFT value?
Good evening, Timon. Just to remind everybody, even though you can't see it, I am holding the camera. So everybody is on camera. You are being broadcasted live to Facebook now. There is about 8,000 viewers watching us, just as a matter of interest. And just to remind people, those people who stand behind the counter are regarded as observers and are not asked any questions and are not asked to comment. So if you'd like to comment, you need to come and sit on the couch. Otherwise, you're regarded as an observer. Timon, a very interesting question, and of course I can't do any better than Imo Nayax or Paul Laff or Ultra Funky. So possibly I'm just summarizing what people said. No doubt, I think rarity would be important. One of the striking features of an NFT, it's indestructible. If we look at the Mona Lisa behind you, which value is indeterminable, if that Mona Lisa was destroyed, if the original was destroyed in the Louvre, no matter how many copies you've got, they would be worth nothing, theoretically. as opposed to an NFT that is stored in a blockchain that makes it indestructible. There's no doubt that uniqueness is very important. And I think the profile of the person creating that NFT. So if you have a very high profile person, whether they are famous or infamous, and they produced NFTs, I think that would give it great value. A subject content is important for the observer, the person who purchases it. The unique feature is the ability to store this NFT in a safe that people can't access, and that safe we call a blockchain. And of course, the future value of the NFT, or the speculative value of the NFTs. So those are my thoughts on NFTs. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't beat that. That is absolutely excellent. And it actually brings me the question with the Mona Lisa, which maybe we'll ask a little bit later. But yes, absolutely. So like all assets, there is one main driver for value, and that is supply and demand. When there is high demand and low supply, more buyers flood the market, driving the price up. So it's almost, so with the NFT, for example, it's like Elton John selling a one-of-a-kind digital baseball card. One card only, high value, high credibility, rarity, everything that you need for value. When there is less demand and high supply, then less buyers or no buyers will drive the price. So it's almost like trying to sell a digital photo of the breakfast you had today and put 1,000 of those photos out for people to buy them. So rarity is important. So if I were to sum up what everybody has said today, we would base them into 5 main factors that drives up demand and price. And these 5 factors that drive up a value with an NFT is scarcity, uniqueness, features and functions, popularity, and perceived value. All right. So the scarcity we've spoken about, the rarity of the NFTs, the uniqueness we've spoken about as to how unique is this NFT according to what it is. But then we have something that nobody's discussed, and that is, what about the features and functions? Because the NFT is not just a image, or it's not just a song. It could be a game. You could sell a game. You could create your own Fortnite, for example, and sell it to a bunch of people. You could create your own digital character and make him move. You could create your own digital Furby, you know, or Yu-Gi-Oh card or Dragon Ball Z card, and bring them to life. So it also depends on the features and the amount of talent that you have. For example, here in Altspace, you could create the most mind-blowing house. Like Matty VR, he could create a mansion and sell it as an NFT to somebody who loves digital real estate, you know, because he has the talent. He creates this amazing mansion. Nobody else has it. And then when that person sells the mansion, he will be getting a commission, and when the other person sells it, they will be getting a commission, and so on. And that's the beauty about the power of how NFTs can bring you value as well as the customer. So that's what gives up the NFT value. All right. And now I want to just go to Aziz, who now has heard quite a bit. And I want to ask you, is there anything missing, Aziz, or do you believe that anything gives you an NFT value?
Okay, I believe I'm going to have echo, so bear with me. Yeah, I think you named all of it, but I would just add that it could have emotion. Like, I think this is a different form of art. So whenever we talk about NFTs, we talk about art. So it could have a practical side, everything that we mentioned, and just the beauty of it. So you could look at I think those 5,000 days, it's so cool that a person created every single day, he created some works of art. So it's part of his soul, it's part of his life, it's part of his imagination. And I think that's a new value to it. So I would love to see something with my eyes, or own something that kind of calls to my soul, or something that visualizes how I see it, but I can't create stuff like that. Yeah. So
And
apart from other practical things,
you
and
know,
also like a function. Yeah, maybe I could buy something that I could integrate into my virtual life. For example, like an outfit. Maybe it's not going to be a standard outfit that I can choose, but also it could be an item that I could use, and it would be unique, and something that, like a super costume, or maybe some item in my house, or something that I would enjoy and use it in my virtual life.
that is excellent. No, that's excellent, Ozzy. We actually were talking about that in the beginning, saying, you know, for example, Mark Rothko, who created those color field paintings with rectangles, and the buyers who would spend millions, tens of millions of dollars, they bought it because not only did it perceive value in terms of a lucrative investment, but also the feelings that were brought upon them when they bought the painting, when they saw that burning red, how they felt certain emotions. So absolutely an NFT, and that might be something where people are lacking right now with NFTs, is they're not putting in the emotions and the love that they would need to actually drive the emotional incentive to buy or sell an NFT. All right, now the table is open to hear about other people. Dr. Sam, I see you're first in line.
Timon, yes, this has nothing to do with NFTs primarily. I just wanted to get your thought onto what Aziz was saying, and maybe we can discuss this in a future event, is that as the technology of virtual reality improves and it becomes more real life, will we in the future start having a dual life where we spend a lot of our times in reality, and then we come home and we start spending time in virtual reality with virtual friends that we haven't met and who are all over the world? Because if that's the case, then NFTs have got a specific place in the virtual world where you will start buying expensive digital assets that you can display in your house, or you can display as jewelry, unique pieces of art that you can put onto your wall. So maybe in the future we can have this discussion about, will we as a species have a dual life in virtual reality and in reality? Thanks, Timon. I've got no other comments on NFTs. I've said my say.
Well, I think you raised some good points, Dr. Sam, and that is that NFTs is going to bring a different lifestyle, if you think about it, where it's going to be integrated in every aspect of your life. Where on one hand, with COVID, which has scared us away from people, that we don't want to touch them, we don't want to be around them in the vicinity, and now we are meeting people from all around the world, where we have actually opened our minds and we've become more open-minded with the type of people that we meet, where we find the people that we meet on virtual reality more interesting than the people that are around our neighborhood, that are inside our country, for example. So we are molding a life around the digital era, and we will be the innovators and trendsetters for NFTs and the future of it, because the only limitation to NFTs is one's imagination. That's the beauty. And having these events, if we can just learn one or two things more, we will be taken into the right direction of where we want to go. So I want to just go into an example. For example, what Aziz said with emotions coming into selling and buying of an NFT, just similar to how Mark Rothko created emotions of selling rectangular patterns. And what Ultra Funky, who I still haven't fully grasped what he said yet, but Dr. Sam, I know you normally help me with that. But having the removal of something creates the value in something else. And what came to mind is the Mona Lisa, which I don't know who mentioned it. I don't know if it was Dr. Sam. I can never remember who says things, but I do know that you say it. That the Mona Lisa, do you know what brought its major popularity? Was not the fact that Leonardo da Vinci painted the painting and it had so many layers and there was philosophy and religious interpretations to it. But there was a time where the Mona Lisa was actually stolen. I don't know if you read anything about it, but it was stolen and put into a basement of a house, and the people heard about this news, and all of a sudden the interest for the Mona Lisa shot up because it was removed from the Louvre. I think it was the Louvre at the time, and more people went to the Louvre to see the Mona Lisa that was not there than when the Mona Lisa was actually there. So the popularity was the fact that it removed, the art was removed in order to gain the value. Ultra Funky, you're going to have to raise that hand to see if that possibly means what you're saying. Let's go to Shushu. Shushu, good to see you. Nice to see you again.
Hi. Can
Hi.
everybody hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here again. Yeah, I would like to add some words to what Dr. Sam started to say about our future dual life. I think it's going to happen. And I think it's going to be a real exam for the humankind in VR, because of the fact that it can bring some big social dilemmas, such as, for example, what happens if a new company appears in the market, in the VR market, and start selling kids, avatar kids. So we're gonna have NFTs for the most beautiful kid, like kid with 3 heads and things like this, you know. I think it's gonna be very interesting, you know. People already make weddings in VR, you know, and it brings a whole new perceptions about the meaning of this ceremony and all the obligations we know connected with marriage, you know, because I have a feeling like that in VR we are less, we don't feel we need to behave like in the physical world, that we don't owe anybody something. We can say, yeah, sure, we meet you, and then we don't meet. I marry you, but I'm not only with you, you know. I think it's going to be a big issue that will show us more about our humanity, about our civilization, how it evolves through the VR world.
And also it will test humanity as to, you know, we're right now selling individual digital cards of characters. Now imagine we're selling characters of avatars inside a world that moves, that talks. Then there might even start to become dark VR apps. We might enter into a black market of VR. There might be sex trafficking in VR. Like everything that has taken place in the real world, it could turn into a VR world. And also, it would be a lot easier because, one, we have a blockchain, so we don't need to worry about regulations and taxes. Two, we don't need to show our faces. We can evade that. And three, I hope I'm not giving some ideas to some people here. They're like, you know what, this is brilliant. I'm going to start a world or a VR dark world. Like Katerina is looking at me with these red fiery eyes. I'm feeling worried here. Okay, so I'm going to now thank you, Shushu. You always bring the interesting esoteric side to this. Dr. Sam, you are live, so let me know, what are your thoughts?
Tim, I don't have any thoughts. I just want to clarify something for Desert Sushi. Desert Sushi, as you can notice, I am operating from a computer. I don't have a VR headset, so I'm not experiencing the same immersive experience that you are. So maybe I was incorrect in saying that the dual life will be in the future. Maybe the dual life is already here. But because I'm not experiencing, I'm still getting a two-dimensional view, which is like watching a television. So just to clarify that, as you can see, I can't move my hands or anything. I'm just on a computer.
Okay. I want to know what Ali has to say as well with providing NFT values, and maybe what Shushi had to say, because I know she also goes into the deeper side of things. So, Ali, what are your thoughts? Okay. Right. So, please raise your hand if you haven't spoken. I am... 1 second. Ultra Funky, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wrote a message here. You can just ignore it. Yeah, I was spinning with the Dr. Sam, and he was saying like this, that we will have a VR life where we can buy art and show it to people in the virtual world. So if we have the dimension and saying like this, can we have different values on different NFTs depending if you can bring them into the real world, or it's just usable in the virtual world? So say that you buy a picture or something, you can put it on a screen in your home and show everybody in real life, and you can you show it virtually. And then maybe you can buy an NFT that is only usable in the VR world, and that could, depending on what it is, change the value of things. If it's just possible to see it in the virtual world, it's maybe worth less than if you can use it in the both worlds. That's just a thought.
Well, you got to look at the benefits of why do it in the virtual world rather than the real world. And do you remember, Dylan, and I think even you came to a few of the events of Omar Brain when we were talking about the benefits of virtual reality. And I think if we dig into those benefits, you know, whether it comes to education or investment or anything really, and we dig into the benefits of virtual reality, we will find other reasons for getting into NFTs through virtual reality, because it definitely is a topic that we haven't really spoken about, and that is virtual reality versus NFTs, which I think is a beautiful topic. But even myself, I feel like I'm a bit hazy as to the direction that it can go. I know Sushi has some ideas of how virtual reality is integrating into his life at a personal and deeper level. And if there was someone that is an artist and a creationist with NFTs, if you can bring those two beautiful minds together, you might be able to create some amazing and deeper art on those levels. All right, let's take a look. Dylan, I don't know if you want to say anything. I want to just give you the megaphone.
I can't think of anything to say, but I thought it was funny what you said about dungeons, because there are some people that actually already doing that on Altspace. But it is it is, I think the best thing with NFTs is if you're artist or a musician, traditionally they haven't gotten royalties at all, and now this will be a way to track where the money goes, and for governments too. But I think it's taking such a long time to become common, and I think the perfect thing to use maybe NFTs or blockchains for would be this digital vaccine passport to verify identity, to verify authenticity, and I don't know why it's not happening. It just seems so slow. That's my
Okay,
thought.
perfect. Thank you, Dylan. All right, Ali, we've given you enough time. I want to hear your thoughts. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Ali. It's funny, like I was talking about the deeper levels today, and Ali went all on statistics and economics and business. It's quite funny. But she did raise a very interesting point, and that is you put the value of your own work. Now, I'm sorry to become a storyteller, but there's, as a marketer and an entrepreneur, there is a very big lesson that we need to learn in life, all right? One of the hardest things that we can do is put a value on our own product, service, program, and whatever it is. And the two biggest problems is either you will undervalue the work that you put in, where, for example, the guy who put a bid at $100 and sold it for $69 million, he did undervalue his work, and he let the market take over. But then there are other guys who are on TikTok, and they're now selling sex tapes of their ex-girlfriends that they felt had a toxic relationship via NFT, and they're selling it for like 2 to 3 Ethereum, which is about $2,000, $3,000. And other people are literally taking photos, they're taking dick pics, and they're selling it for $2,000. And others are just taking normal photography, and they're highly valuing it. And it's just, like I said, value is a difficult thing. So where it comes to the storyteller is that there were two men, and this is a true story based on a study, and they were given 2 mugs, right? And they said, you're going to sell these mugs. The first mug had different patterns and different colors, and it was quite beautiful. And the other mug had absolutely nothing, and he was given paint and a type of varnish that he must put onto the mug and make it all glossy. And he spent about 3 days making this mug. The guy who had the already made mug that was already beautified, or whatever that word is, he sold it for $3. Okay, and the guy who did it from scratch and painted it and made it all shiny, he tried to sell his mug for $20 to $30. So he put value based on the time and effort that he put into his own product, and he did not let the market decide as to the value to put on. So yes, I agree and disagree with Ali, and that is, I agree that you can put value on your own stuff, but don't put it based on your emotions. Put it rather based on, take a look at what the market is buying that type of mug in reference to. Find the uniqueness, because remember that the things that I said brings value to an NFT. It is 5 things: scarcity, uniqueness, features and functions, popularity, and perceived value. So take those things into account and ask yourself through each thing. Now this is becoming a marketing lesson, but anyway. Scarcity, how many are you selling? Uniqueness, why is this unique compared to your competitor? Features and functions, what is different about this mug? Is it going to turn around? Is it going to explode? Is it going to pass gas, which I'm sure Dylan would like because he talks a lot about those type of NFTs. You know, is it going to gain huge popularity? This mug, have you got a story behind it? Maybe if you put a story to it, then all of a sudden that will gain value, and you'll sell the people's value. And also the perceived value is, how do you perceive the mug? Why are you in love with it? And when you answer those questions of those 5 demand factors that gives value to an NFT, only then you will know how to market to the people and sell. And this doesn't only apply to NFTs. This applies to anything that you sell in business. And you just got to apply the business tactics into the NFTs, and you might have a winning formula as to how to make an income from it. So those are my thoughts. Now I want to head over to, let's just see here. Dr. Sam, I see you raised your megaphone.
Timon, yes, I mean, I can't disagree with you. You're the economist in this room. So, but I mean, we all know that price theory is a macroeconomic principle that is determined by supply and demand, but also determined by market conditions. So let's just look at a typical example that happened currently with the COVID crisis, and in certain countries there was a shortage of toilet paper. We saw what happened to the price of toilet paper, and we saw what happened to the demand of toilet paper. So definitely demand is a critical factor, and very rarely can you determine your own price unless that product is so rare. If your product is not rare or unique, you cannot determine your own price. You've got to go according to what we say in economics, is what can the market bear. So that was my thought on it, Timon. Thanks.
Market conditions. We can also talk about the trends of where the market is at the moment. And once again, it's down to drilling down what the market really wants. Okay? And that's, for example, what colors do they want inside NFTs? So right now what's popular are pastel NFTs. For some reason, people are attracted to the colors. The market condition as to what type of look do they want. Right now, cartoonified NFTs are more popular than high definition photography, which is very interesting. If you saw the rocks and you saw the cats, I don't know if you saw crypto cats, it's trending. And also the market conditions with COVID is people are saying, why must I invest now, and how will it help for after COVID? So yeah. So I don't see any other hands up. I hope you enjoyed Oh My Brain for today. And that is the end of the second part of NFTs. Make sure you join VR Digital Citizens and also pop into the Greek Taverna if you want. I'm going to give you your voices back, everybody. And thank you so much for joining. We will see you at Awakened Awareness on Monday. Ali, thank you for joining as well.
A question of concern.
Well,
you're the first person that's going to be doing those rocks, that's making NFT for those rocks. So it's historic.
You see, the rocks is an interesting concept, because when Dr. Sam was young, the most famous toy that was ever sold was called the pet rock. And you got it inside a box, you got it with hay, and you got it with a name and a story. I don't know if you remember, Dr. Sam, the pet rock. You can look it up. I'm not making this up. It was a 1957 toy. And people paid good money for it. And like I said, it's sometimes not got to do with the talent, but rather the uniqueness and the story behind it. But why the rocks are sold for so much is because of the company behind it, which has given its credibility. So it's not about it's not about how amazing it is. It's almost like the story with Picasso. I don't know if you saw Picasso. He was one of the few artists that actually made money from paintings. And one day, some guy came up to him and said, "Can you please paint me a dog?" Right? And he took his pen and he drew this dog in one line, and he sold it for $25,000. And the guy said, "Are you crazy? Like, it took you 3 seconds, and you're now selling this 3-second no talent dog to me for $25,000." And Picasso said that, "I don't pay you for my talent. I pay you for my value based on a 25-year success of me being an artist, which has brought the value into my artistry." So it's not got anything to do with time, and it's not got anything to do with talent anymore, but rather the credibility of the people. And so if you go and research crypto rocks, go look at the story, go look at the history, go see why is it credible, and maybe the rarity, and then you'll understand. Because nothing is worth 10 Ethereum or $100,000 for a rock that can be drawn by a 7-year-old. Similar to crypto kitties that are sold for millions of dollars. And I'm sure Ali has more talent to draw those cats than any NFT artist. But it's the story behind it. And that's the main thing that we should pick up today is credibility, uniqueness, scarcity, features. Take it all into account and then make your NFTs and answer those questions. But anyway, thank you so much for joining, guys.